Today, I'd like to share a very special part of my testimony. Today, well, 2 years ago today, was the last time that I seriously contemplated taking my own life. For those of you guys who do know parts of my testimony, this will be fairly familiar. Growing up, I never really fit in. I got picked on and bullied a lot. Combined with that happening in school, I never really had a stable or steady home life. And so with this, when I went into middle school, going into a new school, I did just about everything I could in my own power to see if people would like me. I made all the jokes, played all the sports. I became the school's class clown to make everybody laugh that I could. But I tried to play both roles. I would say the things I need to say in Bible class to be that part. I would try really hard on the football field to get this part. I would post everything I needed to post on Easter and Christmas. And I also post like all the rap songs and new releases, and I would do everything I could. I'd play all the parts, put on all the hats to get the likes, to get the love, to get the affirmation and validation I had never gotten before. And with this striving for affirmation and validation, it led to a lot of anxiety in my life. Like, okay, well, what do I do if like this person doesn't like me? And what do I do if this joke doesn't hit? Or what do I do if I can't succeed this sport? And these thoughts of what if and if people will like me or dislike me just consumed my mind. And then when I would inevitably fail and not be able to please everybody, I feel this deep sadness and sorrow in my heart, which we would call depression. I would just sit in my room and stare at the ceiling and just cry. And just be so disappointed in myself and in my life and in my lack of ability to be all things for all people. So as these thoughts continued to consume my mind, it led to suicidal ideation. This suicidal ideation is the idea that everything would be better if I just ended my life. It became like a blanket would be to like a little kid. Something that as I walked through life, I always held with me. Sometimes in my back pocket, sometimes in my backpack. But it's always there with me. There's always that safety button, that lever I can pull. Like if things go wrong, I can always pull that out. I can always pull that lever. I can always push that button. There's always some type of escape. That if for whatever reason the whole world decides to turn on me, and I mean nothing to the world, I can just end my life. I can just leave. And these thoughts, like I said, they became a blanket and they were a comforter for me. A place where I found refuge. There were so many nights where I would just spend time with my headphones in, listening to sad music and just thinking like, man, like, what would I say? What letter would I leave? Listening to music to kind of build myself up to that moment of when I'd be able to take my own life. But for those of you guys who know me well, you know that I've been following the Lord for the past 3 years. So how does this all work out? That if I've been following the Lord for the past 3 years, but it's been 2 years since my last incident, that means that there's been 1 year still that I was still struggling. And I want to encourage you, like anybody who's watching this and might be in that boat, like shoot, like I'm a believer of Jesus. I would say I'm a follower of Jesus. I'm a disciple of Jesus. I'm doing ministry, and I'm still struggling. That's okay. It's okay that you are there. It's okay that you stay that way. It's okay, right where you are. And it's just like I wish someone would have told me that this is part of the Christian walk. Part of the Christian walk is the struggle. And that the devil sees your potential. He sees what you can be. And he wants to cut you off at the root. Time and time again, I see people when they have this spiritual high, this moment of disbelief of their belief in Jesus. And in those moments, the devil wants to come in and cut you off. He wants to come and send some type of attack, a trial or tribulation to discourage you from this walk with Jesus. First Peter says that our devil prowls around like a prowling lion. If you're a lion, if you're a predator, who do you go for? You go for the person that's alone. You go for the weakest, the young. So if you're someone who's just starting off, you haven't found your community, you consider yourself weak or young in the faith, just know that the devil has a target on your back. And he's coming for you. He's only coming for you because he sees your potential. He sees what you can be. He knows that you're a threat. So he wants to cut you off now before you can ever become what you're supposed to be. But thanks be to God that I have people in my life to hold me accountable to a standard, to the way, to the narrow way, to the way of Jesus. But before I felt the conviction of my friend, before I understood those things, there's a period where I was following Jesus, but I was still stuck in pornography. I was still having inklings of those anxious and depressive thoughts. I was still in relationships that were led by my flesh and not by the Spirit. And that's what led me to 2 years ago today, where I had to stop it. Lord, you can't do better. You cannot fix this. I had this unbelief that the Waymaker could make a way. That he could raise the death in me to life. That he could resurrect the death of my situation, the death of my environment to life again. But I stand here now 2 years later to say, he has. Jesus not only has Jesus Christ risen from the grave, but he has risen me from the grave. And he can raise you from the grave. That Jesus Christ has chosen you, and he loves you. I love what he says in Romans 5:8 via the Apostle Paul. Yet while we are still sinners, while we are still enemies of the cross, while we are still dead in our transgressions, while I was still stuck in pornography, while I was still stuck in my suicide ideation, while I did not believe that God could make a way, Jesus Christ died for me. That he hung up on that cross. So now, as all of my anxious and depressive thoughts would run, they are now silenced by the blood. It's by the cross does Jesus say that you are chosen, that you are loved, and that you are beautiful. And so now 2 years later, I had that same cry that I did 2 years ago. I had that same cry of, Lord, take my life. Because in the same way that I found refuge, I found comfort in the possibility of my life being taken. See, when someone is suicidal, they don't know how close to the truth that they are. Jesus says, whoever loses their life will find it. Whoever tries to save their life will lose it. I'm not trying to rid myself of my life out of a suicidal, anxious, and depressive way. I'm asking the Lord to take my life now as an offering. The joy and the peace that he has now given. The Lord has restored me. I'm now made new in Christ. He saved me from my suicidal thoughts and given me a sound mind. 1 Timothy says that the Lord has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power and of love and a sound mind. And I'm here to testify that that is true. And he wants to do the same thing in you. Jesus Christ thinks that you're dying for, and he proved it. And he saved my life. So now I'm here to say, Lord, take my life. You can have it all, Lord. You can have all my life. Take my life. As John said, John 3:30. May I decrease and may he increase. Now this is where I found the most life. This is now where I have life and life to the fullest. Life abundantly. It's when I've given my life to Christ. When I've said, Lord, take my life. You can have it all. Now, so let's say I don't struggle. Let's say I don't slip, I don't fall, I don't stumble. But when I do, I know that I am His and He is mine. And He wants to be yours too. So my prayer today, Lord, may it be so that one more person today would allow you to come and take over their lives in the same way you've taken over mine. Because Lord, you have taken over my life. You've changed it. You've washed me from the inside out by your blood. Lord, my prayer today is that you do the same for one more person.